put my resources into a puppet government.
What the brother's saying? What I think the brother's saying is, yeah, when Europe came to Africa to colonize everywhere in Africa, they didn't say that's Somali, that's Ghana. They just came to the whole thing and colonized the whole thing. What he's saying is there has to be some form of uniform response from Africa to stop that.
You said to me right now, Pan-Africanism is bad. You said Pan-Africanism is bad.
So you both said Pan-Africanism.
I'll tell you why Pan-Africanism is bad.
Why?
It's because the governments that they gave us in the first place that exist now are puppets of the West. Yeah,
but
so
that's why
can we move away from that?
And
we do our own African thing. Okay, we make our own governments, our own rules.
But the Pan-Africanism you're talking about, yeah, is the African Union, and the African Union is made up of...
Gaddafi's a good example.
Yeah,
United States of Africa.
Was he a Muslim, Gaddafi?
Well, let me ask you something.
Was he a Muslim?
1 second.
Was he a Muslim?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Was he a Muslim?
I don't believe he was Muslim, no.
Oh my
He didn't believe in Sharia. He didn't believe in the shit. He did not believe in Sharia whatsoever.
You can't say that as a human being.
There's no one that has the Sharia now. There's no one that's got the Sharia.
That's the issue that we have in our
I know, but that means you can't say he's not Muslim then.
Egypt is an African country.
No matter what Sharia he does, he's going to be someone that disagrees.
I don't know.
Nobody's
You're
supposed to
Pan-African. Is Egypt an African country?
I don't know.
But what I'm saying is...
You don't know, bro.
I don't know. They consider themselves Pan-African.
No.
A country, it doesn't matter who you are.
Consider Pan-African.
I consider myself a Pan-Africanism. I can only talk about myself. I'm a fellow Pan-Africanism. Why do you hate one? I'm just trying to say. No. Where I'm trying to come from, I'm trying to destroy Africa begging in a cup. How can Congo be the richest country and the poorest country in the world? How?
Because the government, that's why. The government is a puppet.
I'm not white, I'm black. I'm African.
It's a corrupt government.
I'm African.
Do you believe you're an African?
What kind of nonsense is that?
Why is Nigeria?
So why are you against Pan-Africanism?
Why is Nigeria poor?
I'm against the whole extreme level of Pan-Africanism.
What is the extreme level of
The
Pan-Africanism?
idea of that me being black, I'm better than a white guy.
No, but no one
said
that.
that. No one said none of that.
He was saying.
I've never said none of that.
Why is Nigeria poor?
Is that regardless of that conversation,
regardless of that
Because
conversation.
the government
misuses
the money.
I know what it is.
It's like Andrew Childs coming over and someone saying, I don't believe in
the
extreme Islam. Yeah, but that's
So you want me to all my resources,
That's
my
what
energy,
energy
my life,
I'm not Pan-African. But the conversation earlier he was having,
Uncle, thank you.
is a continuation of, why we dress like this or
Ah,
why we...
come on. Uncle Danjuma.
As these witnesses are asking you, I'm getting attacked because I'm a
No
Pan-African.
one is attacking you.
They're saying you're
Stop claiming
Pan-Africanism.
victim. This guy's trying to be a victim from black brothers.
This brother saying
Am I white? I'm black myself. I'm a victimhood.
All these countries are already controlled by the West.
Check it out.
Nigeria is a rich country. Okay, it's the oil.
There's bigger battles going on. There's bigger battles, brother. There's a battle of ideology. It's not whether you're from Africa, Europe. It's the ideological welfare. You're talking about color, skin, and Africa. Life is bigger than that.
1 second.
Respect. You're not going to get much because there's too much shouting. Somebody needs to control.
Okay, can I control the narrative?
It's about kufr bin ta'ud wa man billah.
Oh, brother, this is the problem that we have as Somalians, as Pan-Africans. You know what, we're the only one of the only Islamic nations that's 99.9.
Alright, let's get some moderation.
What about other countries like that in the world? Where everyone is Sunni. My brother, am I right or wrong? Every single Somalian.
Yeah. Same with the Iranians, same with the Persians. The whole world is like governed by puppets.
Listen,
The colonialism of the West has never fully left. Yeah? So I'm saying, why am I going to put all my money and my resources and my blood?
Well, let me explain something. Can I explain it?
That never wanted, that was not moved by me because...
I'm sorry then.
But is that what he said?
Like I'm saying, brothers, at the same time, why when I talk about Pan-Africanism, a lot of people get pissed off.
By the people themselves, not some...
You're just saying, oh, this.
You're
assuming that. This is your problem.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's the...
I'm talking about Pan-Africanism.
You
You see how the whole narrative's changed now. I don't know whether the cameras are on, I don't know whether Issa's here, I don't know whether Uncle's here. Like I'm saying, what is wrong with Pan-Africanism, my brother?
I already explained to the uncle.
No, what he's seen, what's your name?
Abu Talha.
Abu
A life scattered, you should be
said
here.
to me that his problem is with puppet government. So what he's saying to me is like, what he's saying to me is like, if there's another interruption like this, I will leave.
Yeah.
Okay? Because I'm trying to, I realize that what somebody told me is not sensible to come and argue with people who want to play.
Yeah.
I'm here to talk sense. I was called here. I ain't coming for no foolishness.
Uncle ask
No, we good. I'm talking about. I don't want to start it up. Now, what he is saying is, if you take the organization, in my day it was called the Organization of African Unity. Kwame Nkrumah wanted to head it. Kwame Nkrumah was feared by the West. They were terrified of him. They thought he was in hock to the Russians. In those days, there was a Cold War. The world was divided between East and West, and you had to choose a side. They felt Kwame Nkrumah's policy of Africa for the Africans was too terrifying. So when the Organization of African Unity was mooted and then established, the capital chosen for it was Addis Ababa. And the person chosen to spearhead it, to lead it, was Emperor Haile Selassie I. There was a reason for that. And it dovetails a little with what you're saying. They felt that Haile Selassie was a more compliant person with whom they could do business. And what he is saying is something similar to that. It's pointless.
Now, what he's saying, you can't. A lot of these men say you can't be Muslim and be Pan-African.
He didn't tell me that. What he was saying.
Yeah, he left that out.
What he was saying to me. Okay,
he left that out. Why you leave that out for?
Cousin, you left that out.
I can only deal with what he told me.
You're misunderstanding what I said. Please.
All right, let me explain it to you.
I said to him, yo, why would you put your resource and your blood, effort, everything into a public government that was never built for you in the first place? At least build the government yourself, yeah, and then you could put effort into it. So this is your
That's what we're trying to do. As a conversation, as Pan-Africanism, how can we start that conversation if every time you bring it up, oh no, you shouldn't do nationalism, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. All I said at the end of the day, yeah, is Africa needs to come out of this begging in the cup system.
We will never, until the public governments are removed, yeah, and replaced with just governments.
You're not disagreeing.
If you are a Muslim, you are Muslim.
I don't think you're disagreeing.
You can't be Pan-Africanist.
Why?
You can be a nationalist.
Why not?
If you are Muslim, the whole world is for...
In the Quran it says nationalism, it says Kabila, it says countries and everything.
If you are Muslim, you're going to be globalized. You're going to
Let me ask you a question.
You're going to feel sick about the
I've got a question for him. I've got a question for him.
That's a perspective.
I've got a question for him.
We're talking about Pan-Africanism.
Yeah, and he's saying
I've got a question. Even Christian, if you are a Christian, person can be loyal
I've got a question for him.
or for his nation.
I've got a question for
So
him.
for me,
Here's my problem. Here's my problem.
a Pan-African.
You
can
can
be a color
Yeah, we heard you.
Let me finish.
No, we heard
And
you.
then-
We heard you.
No, let me finish. You heard me so far.
All right, let me answer it. These are the same kind of people when the Janjaweed Muslims were killing black African Darfur Muslims. They were demonstrating in Khartoum with one Palestinian got shot. These are the kind of people who worry more about Arabs than about their own people. He wouldn't have been talking when the Janjaweed were raping the Rizegat, Bagara, Janjaweed of northern Darfur, were raping the black African women of Darfur who look like him, and saying at least we're putting race mixed Arab children into your wombs by raping you. I didn't hear one of them, not one of them complained.
It is a civil war. They are Sudanese. They are nationalists. And this Darfur, they come to Africans.
Like you.
They've been helped by Israel. Israel helped them
You,
to
the
make
B-Rab.
Sudan.
The B-Rab like you. You're a B-Rab. You're not an Arab. You're not an Arab.
We can be.
يمكن
أصولنا عربية.
It's a mission. All Sudanese are B-Rabs. All Sudanese are not Arabs. They are B-Rabs.
You know,
You're not Arabs.
And nationality is
Step
not about color.
down. Brother,
Janjaweed are
you
Sudanese.
just said you're against
And
nationalism.
it
Now you're
was
talking
civil
nationalism.
war. It
You
was
were
civil war.
raping black women on the basis
No,
of
all
race.
is lies. This is lies.
It's true.
This Darfur, they have
What?
embassy in Israel. They get help from
Darfur
Israel.
has an embassy
and
in
this was
Israel.
a fight against Arab.
Darfur has
a
an
fight
embassy in
against
Israel.
Islam.
Well, it's
But the
Tamayun.
Janjaweeds are the most
Darfur has
hero
an
people.
embassy in Israel.
They get rid of
It's
these
you.
people.
It's
Even
Ukraine.
Chadians, they come fight us because Israel helped them.
Because Hemeti
Now
brought them.
Janjaweed, we
Hemeti
control
brought
power
them.
in Sudan.
Listen,
Hemeti now
he
the
brought
president
them.
of Sudan is Janjaweed.
All of this problem
fight in
is
Yemen,
that
we protect
Bagara
Yemen.
Arab
What
in
do they say?
Sudan create this. This
is
Rizegat. All this problem is the
If they
Rizegat.
respect
No,
us, we
I
respect
know.
them.
I know, Raspect, the problem is deeper. The problem really is about desertification. I know that. But what the Bagara have done by encroaching onto the farmland of the black African Muslims of Darfur is treat them like they're niggers. They started raping their women. They started brutalizing them. Let me tell you, the Darfur people about this color.
They are Chadis.
They're like this color. They're about this color.
They
ain't
come
too
from
red.
Chad. They come as
They're about our
refugee.
color.
They
Some
are
darker
proper
than us.
Africans.
You have some
They are
like
dark
the,
skin.
you have some like Miseria. The Miseria is dark. That's Bagara Khudr. في Bagara Humr. The Bagara Humr, like Ruzegat, Atasha, they're like us. Sorry, let me explain that in English. The red Bagara look a bit like us. Then you have those who mixed further along the line as they traveled into Africa, further south. They're called the black Bagara. But in Arabic you say green, Bagara Khudr. These are the dark skinned ones. They are more bordering with the Dinka. You find them bordering with Bahr al-Ghazal and those areas here. The government in Sudan, previous governments, have used these people to quell dissent in far-flung regions. We had the South wishing to secede, but also the West, under-resourced and ignored, decided it wanted to go its own way. In order to keep the western part of Sudan united to Khartoum, they unleashed the Janjaweed on these poor, defenseless farming people. My problem is this: nobody in Sudan was demonstrating for the virtue, the virginity, the virtue of those black African, Muslim, Darfurian women being raped. But one Palestinian got killed, and in Khartoum they demonstrated, oh, what Israel is doing to Palestinians. My point is, you should do both. But since charity begins at home, you should be more concerned about the people of Darfur. You should be more concerned. I'm landing. He ain't gonna cut me until I land. He ain't gonna cut me till I land. You have to be more concerned as a black man, as a Sudanese, about what you're doing to your own damn people. And then, you know what? If you think like an Arab, like he's doing, you don't care about black African Sudanese, even though they're Muslims. And let me tell you, the people of Darfur are better Muslims than the Bagara. They are more Hufad. They are more memorizers of the Quran among the Hufad. No, you know for a fact. The black African Muslims of Darfur are better practicing Muslims than the Janjaweed Bagara. Much better. But they see them as... The problem in Sudan is the closer you are to an Arab, they think the better Muslim you are. Oh, we got a lot of stupid people in this park believe like that. We got a lot of ignoramuses in this park who think the closer steps you take to being an Arab, you're better. When I say Arab, I mean a Peninsula Arab, Khaliji, a Qatari, Kuwaiti, Saudi, Emirati, Omani, not Yemeni. They don't like Yemeni. Yemeni are poor, so nobody likes them. So let's excuse the Yemeni people. But
when a Palestinian get killed, do you think we should stop looking like this?
Yeah, cry for them.
For us.
Let me tell you, I was at the University of Alexandria with them. Let me tell you something. You don't know anything. I studied at the University of Alexandria with Palestinians, right? I know black Palestinians who come and tell me, black Palestinians tell me how racist white Palestinians, sorry, not white, Arab Palestinians are to them. Now I'm going to tell you, let me, for the purposes of truth, let me say this, for the purposes of balance, I traveled the length and breadth of Israel, and no Palestinian Arab was racist to me. Point of fact. I'm not going to come here and give you one side of the story. But I meet many black Palestinian Arabs living in the Negev who say how badly and how racially maltreated they are, not by the Israeli Jews, but by their Palestinian brothers who are Arabs, because they brought them in the historical time as slaves. And you know them from their name, At-Takaruni, Al-Abid, their surnames, Al-Abid, At-Takaruni, Al-Barnawi. When you hear this name, Barnawi, it means it's from where they are.
This is Jahala.
Brother, you know what he does? He's interrupting when he can't understand what I'm saying.
Care about,
I'll tell.
What?
Raspect,
you don't know nothing about Janjaweed. Janjaweed
what?
are the winners.
What?
Who is the leader in Sudan?
So what I know about them?
Hemeti.
Dagalo. So you think I still don't know?
When did
So
you
you think I still don't know? So you think I still don't know? Don't underestimate the opposition. You still think I don't know? Huh?
Dagalo.
You didn't know I know his name is Dagalo.
Okay,
You didn't know.
Dagalo. I want to tell you
You know how much money the
we need to
EU
talk more
gave
about
him?
Dagalo.
Do you know how much money the EU has been giving that camel herder to kill other people? To enslave other people?
Why they should pay him to kill other
Yeah,
people?
because he said he will prevent people from running
We
to
are in
Libya.
agreement, Saudi, Egypt.
Yeah, that's why all of
Emirates,
those Janjaweed
Sudan,
are going to
we fight
Saudi.
together
You know they're
in
fighting.
Yemen.
They're killing Yemeni.
We're going to fight more as well.
Mercenaries.
Yeah, not
Mercenaries.
It is nobody
Let me
took
tell you
us
what's
from
happening now. The Janjaweed are being rented out.
choice.
They're being rented out.
It is common interest.
Soldiers of war, mercenaries, being rented out to Saudi Arabia to kill poor, defenseless Yemenis. That's what's happening. And these people talk about Islam and justice. You all got it twisted. This Arab, you got you all
7 years
twisted.
ago,
You go to
he used
Saudi
to be
Arabia and tell them
a
you're
businessman. He used
Go
to
and
sell
tell them you're an
camels
Arab.
from Sudan to Egypt.
Go and tell them in
Yeah,
Saudi
yeah,
Arabia.
yeah, yeah.
Moroccans, they don't even
But
say North
those-
Africans.
I want him to go, yeah.
They took his
They call them
camels.
B-Rams.
Yeah, yeah,
And then
So he's a
he
C-Ram.
for himself.
He's not even a B-Ram.
He
He's
joined
a
the
C-Ram.
army in 7
You're a
years.
crab.
Now he's a general.
Crab, C-Ram.
In a barrel.
You know, the Moroccan is a B-Ram. You're not even a B-Ram. You're a C-Ram.
What's a B-Rap?
B-Ram is Mustarab. I'm a Mustarab.
What's wrong with Arabic?
Don't pretend you don't
What's
understand.
wrong with Arab? What's wrong with Arab?
Did I say something wrong with it? Did I say something wrong with
I
it?
could have Arab blood.
And I have Arab blood. I have Arab blood. For disclosure. So what? So what? Bob Marley's father is white.
Arab Sharaf.
Yeah, you see praying to white people?
Don't talk
Bob
about
Marley's
Bob
dad is white.
Bob Marley
You see
believe in
praying to
human
white
being.
people?
Bob Marley
You
prayed
don't
for
understand the
Haile
point I'm
Selassie.
making.
What
You
Bob
don't
Marley?
understand the
Don't
point.
give me Bob Marley.
What these guys do,
You speak about
they take
committee,
one
be
drop.
careful, you have to
One
know the
drop.
history.
Bob
That's
Marley
it.
said feel it in the one drop. They take one drop of Arab blood against 90% African blood and say they are Arabs. That's
We're
disrespect.
proud, Arab good.
You're disrespectful to Africa. You're disrespectful. You're
Man
damn
don't feel it in the white drop.
Yeah, one drop. It's true. They got one drop of
What's Africa?
Arab blood.
Arab are
And
more
they use that
model.
to
They build a
counterbalance
nation
all
like
the
Saudi.
African blood.
They know business.
Right?
Arab is
You're
go Emirates, go Qatar. I
We're
believe
missing the point.
the business idea of Arab is more than this Africans. Go Nigeria and Chad, all fighting each other. So nothing wrong with Arab.
We
When
say
you
the
talk about
Mustarab like a wigger.
Siyasa.
Mustarab like a wigger. You say C4, it's like a wigger. The Aki version of wigger.
مش عيب مش عيب عرب مش عيب شرف
اذا لسانك عربي اذا لسانك عربي انت تعتبر
روح
عربي.
امريكا تتكلم عربي تجينا نتكلم عربي ايش
بلاش هذا.
البخاري مش عربي بس لسانه عربي.
والحمد لله لغه الجنه عربيه.
انا اسمع انا عربي.
Bukhari tells you he is from Bukhara. He's not an Arab.
Okay, but
Forget
he's
about
not
that.
Arabic.
We are talking about this.
السوداني
No. What we talking
I
about?
like when Africanism.
What am I
They should
saying
think
is
about
this?
African problems.
The original question was, can you be
Who's on the camera?
Pan-African?
I gotta go.
It's good. Be Pan-African.
We're gonna say
Think about Africa. Don't hate others. Don't hate Arab.
No, but you never said that.
We're saying being Muslim.
أنا ما قلت عبيد.
He says to me,
يا عبد الله.
أنا عبد الله. عباد الله. عباد الله. أقول, hey, the point I'm trying to make is, he said you cannot be Pan-Africans and Muslim, that they are mutually exclusive. I disagree respectfully, but because if a white Arab said that to me, he would have had a harder time. But because he's my brother who thinks he's more Arab than he really is, I gotta be patient with him. The real question of what an African, nobody asked the Chinese why the Chinese are a united people. Nobody asked the Indians why they're united people. Nobody asked me. But when it comes to Africans, people get antsy. People get nervous when Africans talk about African unity. You gotta ask yourself why. Does the rest of the human race fear the African unity? What is it about when Africans stand up and be proud? People get nervous. I don't understand it.
I don't have any problem. He's against Islam. This is against Islam. You can go one way or other. If you are Muslim, a Muslim is brother of Muslim. So I'm a Sudanese Janjaweed. My Yemeni brother is much closer than the Nigerian, African, Christian or
Most
other.
of Nigeria is Muslim.
Muslim is brother of Muslim. So Pan-African as a Muslim, it doesn't work for me.
What's Pan-African, brother?
But let me ask you
It
this.
is like feeling
So
Africa,
you're
you know?
brothers, so you're saying you're not brothers with people that aren't Muslim, only Muslims
Yes,
are your
yes,
brothers?
yes. That's
Yeah.
Either
When you
are
go to
Muslim,
Saudi Arabia,
Muslim, or you are African.
when
You have to choose one.
Respect.
So which one do you
That's
choose?
why.
Which one do you choose?
That's why.
Which one do you choose?
That's why.
No, which one do you choose?
I don't agree with that.
Which one? Which one?
Communist in Somalia.
When they go to
make
Saudi
you hate
Arabia,
Arabic.
you treat them just
But
like
this
black
is wrong.
African
They make
non-Muslims.
Islam. They make
Ask him that. When he goes to Saudi Arabia, they're racist to him, just like they're racist to any other non-Muslim African.
I'm not Muslim.
He don't understand this.
If you are not
He
African,
never been there then.
Which one are you though?
You just said you're either African.
either
He is from
you
Western
Muslim,
Sudan,
if you are
Janjaweed.
Muslim, then forget any Christian in your country and think about another Muslim who is in
What
China.
about a person who is not African or Muslim?
Muslim is a
Told me
problem.
to this discussion left. Somebody called me and he left.
It's the other side.
Not Muslim.
Respect. I'm gonna go. The man who called me to this discussion, skedaddle. So I'm gonna go. Yeah. We gonna catch up that time, yeah.
Talk to him, bro. You're saying that.
I got bare Somali parents on my back saying, no, not sure about this one.
You can be Pan-African.
Can you be Christian and Pan-African?
What's Pan-African?
I don't know about Christianity.
Well, you're a Christian, aren't you? You're not a Christian.
Sometimes I pretend like that. Maybe.
What's
And it's like
Pan-African?
Mathor.
Huh?
What's Pan-African?
Pan-African is like to make African unity and make
One,
Africa be
two,
great. There are a lot
five.
of ex.
So I'm not
Muslim
Muslim,
dictionary use.
Pan-African, and you're not Muslim, then what are you?
My friend, if you are Muslim, no. If you are Muslim, think about Islam. That's it.
So what you're saying is if you're not Muslim, it's not acceptable.
So how do you spread Islam?
For me, no.
How do you spread Islam? How do you do dawah?
What you're preaching
How do
is
you do
hate.
dawah? How do you
That's according to
You're
how do you
preaching, but
sincere
you're
dawah?
preaching hate them.
How do you sincerely spread the religion if you're only going to...
Muslim.
No, it's
Yeah,
funny.
it's
It's
Muslim
funny. I've seen him with a picture of Jesus.
Within Muslim.
And then he was
Are you
debating.
Christian or
He was
Muslim?
debating in the Sudanese.
I don't want to talk about you.
Why not?
Christian
I
or
don't want to
Muslim?
talk about
Why
you.
not?
Are you Christian or Muslim?
Yeah, I've seen him.
Why are you here then talking to people and
Are you
putting
Christian
shit,
or Muslim?
right?
What should I? What do I know?
So you're saying if you're not Muslim,
Ethiopian Christian, brother. I can tell.
Bro.
why don't you
Don't
want
worry,
to
don't
talk to
worry.
me?
Ethiopian
Film
Christian.
this one. We'll film this one. There's a debate here, brother. Brother
Yes,
and brother.
indeed.
I'm not chatting shit.
But I'm not
So what you're saying is,
Somalian, like,
so what you're
want to be
preaching,
Somali. I hate
for the
Arabic.
first
no.
time in
I'm
life, you're the
Sudanese.
first
I don't
person
hate
I've ever
I
met,
don't hate Arabic.
the
No
first
Muslim
person I've ever met
language.
that has ever, one-on-one, said you hate a non-Muslim.
I didn't say that.
You did.
I said I didn't want to talk. I don't want to talk about
You
you.
might as well do. Okay, so you're said, you
It
just
doesn't
said,
concern me.
Okay.
Are you exist here?
I'm not
I
a-
don't see you.
I'm not a Muslim.
I don't know. I don't. Okay.
I'm not a Muslim.
Then
so do
I
exist
don't have
or not
any
exist?
concern for you.
So if I'm not a
No
Muslim,
concern.
do I exist or not exist? In your
For
eyes.
me-
In your eyes.
For me-
In your opinion.
For me, no. You are not existing.
So you don't like Muslims. Non-Muslims, you don't like them.
You don't like
For
Muslims.
me,
What you say? This is
it is not about like or don't like. I don't know.
He's saying he doesn't know. He's saying
But there is ayah. El Muslim, Akhul Muslim.
So you're either Muslim or you're nobody. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just preaching.
He's saying
All
he
right,
doesn't know.
just
Stop
blame
it.
it.
Time, bro.
Blame
Go
it.
back
to the pub and finish your drink.
That's it.
Leave him alone.
Why is that?
Leave him alone.
Brother,
Hey, you're Christian though, innit?
I am Christian, yes.
Yeah. So why are you saying that then? Why did you lie? You say you're Muslim. Why did you say you're Muslim?
I told you I'm Muslim 100 times. What do you want?
Bro,
Don't ask about my face. Just come to questions.
that is a question, bro.
Yes.
I'm nobody.
I said Islam and Pan-African, it doesn't work
What
together.
about Christianity and Pan-Africanism?
Even Christianity. If you believe in Christianity, then you don't need to talk about Pan-Africanism. You have to go one way. Either your faith way
can't reason, man.
or political national way. Either think about your race or think about your faith. So you can't mix race with faith with nationality. There is no borders in Islam.
Yeah, you're great. You're Superman. Like in the Bible, Jesus said that. Render